Iburu, Iboy, Abu, Che, everybody in Cyberland. Hey, wanted to talk to you guys a little bit. So, I had a couple of my god kids, and believe it or not, I caught a few god kids, and nobody's really asked me, hey, what's the translation of the Mojuba? And I know personally I'm a little different than a lot of other people because even my god kids, once they receive their warriors in the Mano Arula, I like to get them a little bit more knowledgeable on certain aspects. I like them to understand what our lineage is. I like them to understand the Moyumba, and I let them get a little bit more hands-on than other Iles feel might be appropriate. But for me, I always give the one solid, no kidding advice that I tell everybody, right? And I tell people that what happens the day that my job here is done and Olodumare calls for me. Olodumare, Olofi, boom, all right, hey, Odileke did his thing. He met his mission, or maybe I didn't meet my mission and I just left early. Who knows, right? I get hit by a car. Let's just throw a scenario out there. My god kids need to be able to be self-sufficient. And that's the premise of my ile, and a lot of my god kids will tell you the same. Self-sufficient is important. Why? Because at the end of the day, it should not always be, let me go to my godfather, let me go to my godmother, because I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with that. Now, the more that I empower you to be resourceful is when you start to spiritually enlighten yourself, because you're able to resolve your own problems, be connected spiritually with your Ori, with your spirit guide, and you begin to fulfill some of those spiritual voids that we're all looking for, that we're all searching for, so we can get to that higher enlightenment. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So I wanted to do this video because the Moyumba, what is the Moyumba, right? A lot of times people forget that the Moyumba is you paying tribute, right? It's kind of like you opening up a vortex, right? And you're calling down. Right, so when we grab the water and we say Omi tu tu ana tu, and you start to get into that, right? You're talking about the fresh water, the fresh hands that are touching, the fresh roads. We're trying to use intelligence, and you're talking about those things, right? In a Yoruba language, in a dialect, okay? And it doesn't mean that the dialect has to be told, because the divinities know all languages. But in order to stay as traditional as possible, we use the Yoruba dialect. I hope that makes sense. We give water to the dead, we give water to the ground, we give water to the sun, and all the accompanying divinities. We praise God, Olodumare, right? And all our deceased. And when we start talking about our deceased, right? Because the Moyumba, the very translation of Moyumba is, no kidding, I pay tribute. All right, so part one of the Moyumba is exactly that: fresh water, open the skies, fresh hands, intelligence, praise God, praise the sun, praise everything that we have within our nature-based faith, because this is what it is, a nature-based faith. And now let's give thanks to our deceased. And when we give thanks to our deceased, you notice priests and priestesses, right, santeros, santeras, they say, Kimben Tunu, rest in peace. So when we say rest in peace, what are we trying to say? So we're giving our lineage, right, of all the Babalaos, all the Santeros, all the Santeras, all of those religious figures within our bloodline, right? Within our bloodline. Because a lot of times, no different than your blood and your DNA and your mom and your dad, your uncles and your aunts, we are families. There's a lot of spiritual houses and Iles that know each other, right? And how do we know each other? Because we look at our ancestry. So we give tribute to those. Rest in peace. And that's just a little bit of my lineage, right? And those are important aspects to remember. So that's part two of the Moyumba. And then part three of Moyumba is when we, no kidding, we always give praise to God. And we praise our divine, and we talk about our Odun, we talk about our Godfather, you talk about your Yobona, You give praise to your Bubo Egun, Bubo Awos, Bubo Ochas, Bubo everybody. And then you wrap it up by giving thanks to all the Orishas, all the Ochas, right? And then you start going down that road. You know, you start going down to the Ogun, Ochos, Yosun, Obatala, Chango, Yamaya, Oya, Ochun, Babalu Aye, Agayu, Orisha Oku, Ode, Orun, Osang, Olorun, Olopun. And you start going down, and what you're doing is you're saying, hey, blessings and spiritual strength, divinities, give me that as I invoke you, right? With the water, I'm invoking you, opening up the vortex. Give me that power. Give me that understanding. Allow me to do the work that I'm about to do in your name. Just want to kind of just put a little bit out there about the Mojuba and why the Mojuba is important. Why the Mojuba is the first thing we do in every ceremony. Because you got to open it up right. You got to give thanks to the elements. You got to give thanks to God. You got to give thanks to your ancestors. You got to give thanks to all divinities. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right. With that being said, I just want to kind of share something I was working on and something that I gave to my Ile, the full breakdown and translation. But why is it important for all of us to understand? What is it that you're saying? Is it just a bunch of words jumbled up and you're saying it? Or do you actually understand the words that are going through it? Because at that point, when you say things, you're doing something for Makokan, and you understand what you're saying and how you're saying it, man, you just help your cause at least twofold. With that said, Iburu, Iboya, Ibucheche, Cyberland, out.